Well, when I think about prayer in relation to process theology, I think about being lured. I think about attending to what is luring me. And that really means paying attention to what I most desire, to the heart's desire, the deeper love. And that's not easy to access, is it? Because we're caught, as Augustine says, in many loves. We're buffeted around between our desires, our loves, our cravings, our hopes that are all based on some kind of loving, but they come into contradiction. They're just very degraded loves, often that have been shaped by cultural habits that we ourselves don't deeply believe in. So the ancient practice of prayer helps one to cut through the confusion of conflicting desires that I certainly experience in myself, the conflicting demands and stresses on me. Often it's other people's desires that are inside of me and distracting me, other people's wants and needs. And so how do I prioritize? How do I tune into what is important for me to do now? What can I actualize now? And prayer works. It works as a mode of discernment. So, like for all process thinkers, for me, prayer is not trying to maneuver a guy in the sky to do work for me. It's not asking God to fix anything. Though sometimes I hear that childlike voice saying, "Oh, don't let that happen," "Oh, make this happen." But that feels superficial. The prayer that I think works for us is something else, that we don't imagine that God is either making the things happen that happen, or that God, if we could just get his attention, would step in and fix something if we just pray hard enough. That notion of the divine puppet master just doesn't work for any process people. So it's a more mystical kind of prayer, or one might also say a more meditative prayer. For me, prayer with words is often very good, but in a public setting, in a formal liturgical setting, prayer language, if it's not too offensively sexist, can help me tune in to what is calling me, and perhaps what is calling the whole community together. If I'm on my own, it's more like meditation. I don't believe in my own words much in my head. I mean, I'm full of words, so prayer for me is more about getting rid of words, emptying out words. I'm professionally too invested in words, like everyone in ministry is, and in theology and academia, too many words. So meditation practices that help me to get to a silent, mysterious place help open me to sense what is calling, what is luring, and that's what we need in process thought by God, the one who is calling, that which is calling. The answer, therefore, to my prayer when I'm seeking discernment, what shall I do? What would be the wisdom here? What shall I decide? Rarely comes directly, like some voice, even a quiet one in my mind. Those sound like my own inner voices. I think it does come directly for some people, like a vision or a voice. I'm not privy to that kind of experience. So I find that I get frustrated if in my meditation, am waiting for some direct guidance or response. I get disappointed. So then I remind myself of how it actually has worked for me, that the prayer, the meditation, is about entering into unaltered condition, into a stillness, perhaps through paying attention to breath in a yoga-like way, perhaps with the cloud of unknowing that 13th century English mystical tract, just focusing on one syllable that you love. That anonymous monk suggests. He suggests God or love. One syllable, he suggests. I think Om, maybe. He said, whatever syllable you love, take it. So I sometimes do love, and just keep repeating that one syllable. Whatever the mode of prayer is, I go with it as a process. I find that the answer doesn't come during it. It's that then afterwards, when I move into the world, I'm able to make my decision. I find I can do what I need to do, but then I have the courage or the clarity that I need. It's always a little after the fact of the praying. It's like the praying prepares the way, it opens it. It makes it possible for me to actualize that possibility that is the lure.